Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're covering 6 extremely useful tips and tricks for potty training your guinea pigs. Ways I guarantee will make it a lot easier to manage the mess in the cage and during floor time. But before we get started, the burning question on everyone's mind is, can guinea pigs even be potty trained? Well, we have to be honest here, and I'll admit that I don't think it's 100% possible. They just poo and pee far too often for us to actually train them, meaning there are going to be accidents. So what is possible? Well, I'll show you. This is the cage at 6 PM after I cleaned the litter tray and swept this morning at 8 AM. Plenty of poos and pees in the litter tray, but not many poops elsewhere. And this is what I get from sweeping. 10 hours since I did it last time. Pretty manageable, I think. Moving downstairs, and this is the pigs' floor time setup. They've been out here for 4 hours tonight. One stray poop on the carpet and a couple of clusters over here on the fleece liner. That's it. And of course it can depend on your piggies. Some of them are just more instinctively tidier and hygienic than others, but with the majority of guinea pigs, these accidents can be avoided or reduced by changing some of the things that us owners do. So where do you start? Well, one of the best ways to encourage potty-trained guinea pigs is to switch to fleece bedding. Fleece done properly really does work. Just remember that fleece on its own is not absorbent. It needs an absorbent layer such as cotton or toweling underneath it to draw the moisture through, leaving the fleece nice and dry on top. And it's easy to try out. You can start by putting some old towels on the bottom of the cage and spreading a cheap fleece throw over the top. These materials will need washing once they get dirty, but it doesn't have to be as often as you might think. More on that later. And in terms of litter training, fleece and carpet during floor time are not natural feeling materials to our piggies, so they instinctively do not want to pee on them. In the same way that you might recognise they don't want to pee on a blanket when you have them out for lap time, at least until they're very desperate. They will, however, pee on fleece or carpet if other factors make it an attractive place to go there. Again, more on this later. So fleece helps, but our piggies still need to go somewhere, and that's where the litter tray or litter area comes in. It should be a large space capable of fitting in all of the guinea pigs in the cage, where we can use natural bedding that is easy to clean out often. You could use a large underbed storage box like me, or create a sectioned off area of the cage. And knowing that our guinea pigs need to have fresh hay every day, it makes sense to put the hay in this litter area. Point taken, piggies, and I do get asked about this a lot. Don't we get through loads of hay? Don't the pigs eat soiled on hay? Isn't it unhealthy for them? All very valid questions. And in answer to them, for 3 piggies, I get through about this much hay when I change the litter tray, which is every 1 or 2 days. A 6 kilogram bag of my bedding hay will last me about 1 month. At the same time, I use a 5 kilogram box of Hay Box Timothy hay. I use this more sparingly, so these last me about 6 to 8 weeks. And as for the eating, in my experience, they don't eat the soiled on hay. I put in enough for them and I keep it topped up so they always have fresh hay available. They're smart enough not to eat what somebody else has peed on. Also, from the pig's health point of view, the benefits of having access to fresh, loose hay outweigh any worries around hygiene. The piggies enjoy sleeping and playing in the hay. It allows them to carry out more of their natural behaviours, and crucially, it encourages them to eat more hay, which is the most important thing in their diet. Moving on, and currently I wash my fleece liners after they've been in the cage for 3 weeks. If that sounds like a long time to you, then I recommend using waterproof pads. Even with a litter tray, piggies will pee on the fleece, meaning you change the liner more often, but you'll probably find yourself washing it because of a small number of dirty areas. Outside of a litter tray, piggies tend to toilet in cozy beds, underneath shelters, in hidey houses, or just in corners of the cage which they can wiggle their bottoms into. Of course, there can always be some scattered poops, but the pee tends to be more focused. So by using waterproof fleece pads in these hotspots, we don't need to do a full cage change as often. Yes, you still have to put a wash on, but it's far quicker and easier, and if you have spare pads ready to go, you can spruce up the cage in a matter of minutes, which is so satisfying. Pads can be bought online, or you can make them yourself using my video tutorial, which I'll pop a link to in the description below. Number 4 is a great one for floor time, and it's how to avoid accidents on the carpet. If we just unleash our guinea pigs on the entire room, they will find toileting zones that we don't want them to. This means more cleaning for us and might put us off doing floor time if it becomes a hassle. However, there's a way around this. For example, in our living room, don't ask me why, but the piggies are drawn to the keyboard, underneath the radiator, behind this guitar, and they love, love, love getting under the poofs and the sofa. I'm sure I discovered some ancient poop last time I cleaned under there. So my solution is to block off this entire end of the room with CNC grids. I use this hamster playpen along the edge of the sofa, and I either move the poofs away or use a homemade cardboard piggy blocker. Preventing Phoebe from getting behind the TV is a whole other ballgame though. She's incredibly determined for apparently no reason at all. Stop it. No. I also use a fleece liner under the litter tray and pop some tunnels on the carpet, but ones they are unlikely to pee in. It's 5 minutes to set up and 5 minutes to put away at the end of the night, but with the hay in their litter tray and their food and water dish, the piggies can spend hours down here with us, enjoying snuggles, getting veggie treats, and getting to explore a space that's much larger than their cage. With this setup, they never pee on the carpet, so it might take a bit of research into where your guinea pigs like to go, what areas attract them, and getting creative to block them off, but it's definitely worth it. Back to the cage, and my next tip is to develop a spot cleaning routine, especially if your cage is prone to stray poops and if your pigs like to drag hay or other bedding all over the cage. I've always found that as the mess builds up, it encourages more mess at a faster rate, kind of like exponential growth. So if you can fit in some extra spot cleaning into your routine, your goal is to keep the fleece smooth and clear of bedding and poops, and it will deter your piggies from using it as their toilet. I use a dustpan and brush for spot cleaning, and I used to have to do it several times a day, but these days with 3 piggies who like using their litter tray, I do it less often, but still find myself spot cleaning when there's only a couple of poops to pick up. If there's a lot of stray poops in your cage, pads can help with spot cleaning too, as you can scoop up the whole pad and empty it of poops in one swift maneuver. Tip number 6 is ridiculously simple, but it works wonders for us, and it means that my piggies use the litter tray almost all of the time. I don't know why it makes such a difference, but you have to try it and see whether it works for you too. The secret weapon is this. Yes, piggies, a blanket. Every day over the last couple of months, I've been draping this fleece over the litter tray corner of the cage. It creates a slightly darker area, which really works to make this corner of the litter tray the ideal toileting spot for my girls. So whether it be a fleece drape like this, or a wooden table stand like the hammock stands, or positioning your litter tray under an overhanging top level of the cage, or in just a naturally darker corner, try it and you might find it makes a huge difference to how much they use that litter tray. Also, I keep to putting the tray in this same corner of the cage, which might help the piggies get into the habit of always going here when they need to pee. There's one more thing that can be a huge help when it comes to litter training our piggies, and that's having a bigger cage. So I'm gonna pop this video here for you next, which is the 6 best indoor guinea pig cages out there, covering the most spacious, ready-built cages for your piggies, and it's a great one for beginners who are not quite ready to build their own DIY cages yet. But I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of my tips and advice, and as always, thank you so much for watching. We will see you very soon. Bye bye!